Hi, I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and today we're going to talk about building self-confidence. So what is self-confidence and why is it so difficult for us to feel like we have it? If we start looking again at that negative cycle, we see that we have these distressing thoughts or feelings. We have avoidance, which gives us short-term value and gain, long-term anxiety growth, long-term building of distressing feeling, and then a low self-esteem. So at the very end of it is this low self-esteem, this implicit devaluing ourselves, this implicit lowered internal sense of self. And so if we look at that, then we kind of have this direct correlation to not doing things and sense of value of self for ourselves. And so what it is we want to do is oftentimes people will procrastinate. They will kind of lack this ability to feel like they can overcome something. They will avoid and have fear of failure because they've never even really tried. So we see a lot with people who are naturally good in childhood at things, like they go out for the basketball team, everyone gets a trophy. There's no real winning pennant. There's no real, man, I really, really wanted this. And so I tried really hard. I studied all the time and I actually got an A. There's very little kind of rewards for effort put in. And when you lack those rewards for effort put in, you're really missing on an opportunity to say, if I really try, if I exert effort, then good things happen. And we call that an internal locus of control. So people with anxiety usually have a pretty high internal locus of control because they exert a lot of effort because they are so anxious and they feel the chaos of the world a little bit more than everybody else. And so it's kind of like, if I just do something, I just need to do something. Like they have a lot of anxious energy and they just kind of get into everything. And the value of that is they do put themselves out there. They do try things. When the anxiety kind of takes over, they just are kind of putting things out there. They usually have a pretty good internal locus of control. But for people who don't put themselves out there, who are too afraid to even utilize that anxious energy, or they just don't have it, like they just kind of appear in the world and the world appears to them and they kind of interact and they feel like there's not really, doesn't matter if you put a lot of work in or not, like life just kind of happens to you, an external locus of control. People feel as if they're kind of lost in this amongst the chaos of the world, and that really lowers their ability to have confidence that they can do something. And if they haven't tried, if they haven't put themselves out there, if they haven't really, done anything to test it, then it's really hard, especially in early adulthood, to know where you want to go with that. If you're just kind of following the lines because that's what's being presented for you, it's really hard to know what to do. And when should you make that winning shot? When should you put yourself out there? So how do we do that? We have we're stuck in these negative cycles, this disbelief in our abilities, this reliance on external validators and not really relying on ourselves and our own trusting ourselves to be able to do something. And trust is a feedback loop. So, right, we hold back. When we don't trust ourselves, then we're holding back. So we're preventing ourselves from doing something. Again, another reinforcing. So you see how these negative cycles start to compound. It's not just one gear on a bike. It's about 15 gears happening all at once. To prevent ourselves from feeling good about ourselves, from having an internal sense of self-worth and sense of self, from being able to feel like we're capable or motivated to want to try. So what we want to do is we want to look at ways that we can do little things day by day. We want to set a idea of what success is, a vision of what success is. We want to start exploring what are our values, what are our beliefs. We want to start building that internal idea of who we are and stick to the internal. The more that you go external, the more that you seek more external validation. So we really want to get in the core of it. We want to be connected to who we are and what we want. And then when we do that, we explore what success is, we find our vision of success, we set goals for success, and then we do one thing every day to lead to success. And our third pillar of success is accountability. So we write it down for accountability for ourselves, and we tell others for accountability with others. And we find a sense of vulnerability when we start to tell others about what it is we want to do and how we want to achieve it. And then we just do one thing a day. So you can look at my video on color blocking to see how to do one thing a day. You can start looking at Pomodoro technique for those 15-minute spurts of being hyper-focused on one thing a day. And go back and look at, the negative cycle. How are we getting into this so that we know how we're getting out of it? These are what we call in cognitive behavioral therapy opposite actions. And you can read my book, Saying Goodbye to Bad Brain. This has a lot of things in there about why you're feeling low in your self-confidence. So lots of things to do to be able to build it. I do coaching, so you can go to my website at www.counselingwellnesssolutions.com to learn more about all the individualized packages, from reading a self-help book to having an intense 3 to 5 day weekend of really rebuilding yourself through our wellness retreats, and everything in between: individual therapy, individual coaching, group coaching. We have a gamut of ways to build accountability, to learn the awareness, find acceptance, and then learn all the action steps into being a happier, healthier person. I am Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much for learning how to build self-confidence. You can go, and if you like this, please share it. Please share it with other people. Help them to build that self-confidence that we all are desperately needing. Like this video, subscribe, and get some exclusive content for subscribers. Thank you so much.